Evening. Good evening. I'm just going to wait for a minute or two for the live to start. I always feel like there's a delay. Okay, I can see that it started. Hi, my name's Laura Tilt. I'm Field Doctor Dietitian, and tonight I'm going to be joined by the wonderful Amy Dowden. There she is, who is going to be joining me to talk all about how her dancing and the Strictly tour and how she uses nutrition to support her training. And we're going to talk a little bit about Field Doctor as well, because she's one of our wonderful ambassadors. So it's always that delay. I've just had to there you are. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I love your cardi.
Oh, thank you. It's quite springful, isn't it?
And you've got I love your new haircut as well.
Thank you. Yes, from last night. Yeah, and it's straightened, so it's longer. I've tried not to be using any heat on my phone.
Yeah.
On my hair to keep it growing, and I don't want to damage it. Yeah, especially as it's coming back from
Yeah.
chemotherapy.
Oh, it's looking so wonderful. Thank you for joining us tonight. I know you've been teaching all day, so thanks for hopping on. Yeah,
Let
tonight.
me just turn these lights off because it looks dampened so you can see me properly. 1 second. Let's have a look. Hang on. Let me turn some lights on.
It's that odd time, isn't it? It's like I just had to lower the blinds because it was like a beautiful sunset coming through, but it was blinding a bit.
It's better. Let's have a look. Yes, that's better, isn't it?
Amazing. Yeah, we can see you. Awesome. So I know that tonight we were going to talk a little bit about Field Dr. Mills, but also before we do all that, I'd love, if it's okay, just to hear a bit about you and your diet and how you use like nutrition and food to support your training, because I know like dancing at professional level is incredibly demanding energy wise, and so yeah, I was wondering if we could just have a little peek into your world in terms of nutrition and diet.
Yeah, go for it. Of course.
So how do you eat to support your training?
So that's something like I've had a really learning importance of over the years as becoming a professional dancer. But it is so important. I'm always told it's like fuel in a car.
Yeah.
A car can't run without, if there's an electric car, without the electricity, whether, it's petrol or diesel. And it's the same as your body, but also it aids recovery as well. So if you're not putting the right amount of protein, etc., calcium into your body, you're not going to recover in time. You're going to be more susceptible for injuries, illnesses. And for me, especially after chemotherapy, did I learn the importance as well of fueling my body the right way. And if you do it the right way, you're able to train for longer, you're mentally stronger, your stamina increases better, and you just feel so much better in yourself. And for me, that's so important, especially after the last few years.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? Because I studied sports nutrition like a few years ago, and it's one of the things that does have it has a really big impact, but quite immediate as well. When somebody changes their diet, they don't have to wait long to feel like the effects of feeling more energetic and recovering better, all those things that you talked about.
Yeah, absolutely.
So good. And what about when you were how was tour, by the way, because it looked amazing?
Our tour was so good. For me, it really got my confidence back as a dancer, and dancing with Carlos, the incredible cast as well we've had, and the offstage crew. Honestly, it was magical, and I would do anything to be back on tour right now. I miss it so much, and
Oh,
I really did feel like me again. But most importantly, it gave me the confidence back, especially after how Strictly went last year and having to pull out the competition. I did worry, was I ever going to get back to the shape I'm in now, my stamina back, and be back as the dancer I was before my cancer diagnosis. And yeah, the tour has proven that I can. And yeah, I'm so excited now for Strictly and everything
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, so exciting. And how, like, what's eating like when you're on tour? Like, do you have like do you take loads of snacks? Like, what happens?
So on this tour, obviously, you get your breakfast in the morning at the hotel, and then yeah, you've got to be well prepared and planned. And it was a full-on show, 22 dance numbers. If I wasn't on stage, I was doing a quick change. So yeah, it was so important that I was filled the right way. So where I could, I was taking my lovely field doctor meals, and that I thought was brilliant because again, I knew I was getting good food,
Yeah.
but also getting all that I needed, and also something that wasn't going to flare up my stomach. And then yeah, lots of snacks as well, and especially for the long journeys. Yeah, and you're eating at kind of weird times. So yeah, it's something your body has also got to get used to as well, because you're on stage at 7:30, but we would do a meet and greet before that and a tech run before that. So you can't eat a big meal before the show because you're about to dance. So yeah, you'd be eating quite early in the day and then having a snack afterwards, because after the show you've got so much adrenaline, but you're
Yeah.
starving, you've just gone full out. Yeah. So you're out of your normal routine, but you do adjust.
Yeah. What are your go-to favorite snacks?
So I love a banana.
Mm-hmm.
Love bananas. I love watermelon.
Okay.
I do. I'm a terrible. Like I have got a bit of a sweet tooth, so I do like
Yeah.
chocolate.
Yeah.
But I try to minimize that. Or I try and get like a protein bar in. But yeah, those are my go-to snacks on tour. Ones that I can realistically take with me
Yeah.
as well.
Got to be
Yeah.
portable. And you've spoken, you're an amazing ambassador for Crohn's and colitis, and you've spoken really openly about your Crohn's journey. And I'm wondering, how you've navigated your diet with Crohn's, because I was about to say, I suspect there's a lot of misinformation, but I know working as a dietitian that you probably had to work through a sea of confusing information about diet and Crohn's. So has that been quite a journey as well?
Oh, it has been an quite a journey, and one that I'm still on. And I was so lucky for my mum from such a young age doing like a food diary and
Okay.
knowing what triggered the pain, the sickness. And there was always a link to certain foods I would eat, like red meat, and how I would be ill afterwards and for quite a length of time. And for nuts, things like that. But yeah, it's something over the years that I know now what triggers it and what to avoid. And even things that, things that take longer to digest, I certainly wouldn't be eating on a dance tour
Yeah.
or doing like strictly training. But it's like an ongoing journey. Um, and one that I think, you have to take self-responsibility for as well, I guess. But also just to remind everybody that anybody with IBD, everyone is different. It depends which part of the bowel it affects. Just it's like cancer, that every patient is different and you shouldn't compare yourself to others. You're on your own journey.
Yeah.
So what might work for me might not necessarily work for another patient. But sharing information also helps. And I guess, yeah, I've always, looked up and out to others as well to try and see and try what works for them. And trial and error. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's quite important too.
Yeah, and it's often not necessarily the first thing you try. It's sometimes a combination of things that you need. But I really love the Crohn's and colitis UK have got amazing fact sheets. Actually, I was going to say where do you is there any
Oh,
recommend people go? And I always recommend them because they're such they're really wonderful resources that they've got there. So
do you know what?
yeah.
That charity is wonderful. I can't speak highly enough of them yet. There's so many useful resources. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have IBD nurses. So yes, a big thank you to Crohn's and Colitis UK.
Amazing. And how do our meals fit in for you, sort of obviously with certain things that you might need to avoid? How have you found that? You
Oh,
found
I found them brilliant because, and there's so many, and obviously you cater for that. You know, there's so many options. You can go on there, and for me, it's the one place that I've been able to actually being able to have so many options of meals, but also healthy
yeah,
meals. Things that I know are feeding my body with the right fuel and what I need, and know that I'm not going to be in agony a couple of hours later. And it's just so quick and easy as well, and tasty, but also fresh. So for me, I can have like a chicken curry, I can have peri peri chicken, which is my current favorite. Like there's the fish pie that I love. Like there are so many options, which in others, yeah, I'll just go and look and go, well, I can't eat X, Y, and Z. And also, I know I'm getting the right nutrition as
Yeah,
well.
amazing. So I was going to ask what your favourite meal is, but you said, is it piri piri chicken at
Yeah,
the
at the moment, mine changes, but at the moment, I'm loving that one. I've actually got one ready for tonight.
moment? I was going to ask, like, when you use them, it feels like, yeah, sounds like coming in from teaching and like
Yes,
needing.
so I would have had it. Probably I would have been eating it right now if it wasn't for our Instagram live. But I didn't want to be here eating, chatting with a full mouth of food.
Oh, that's amazing. Um, if you had any, like, what would be in like an Amy special meal? I'm thinking, like, you know, if you had any, I can speak to Matt. Like, what would be is there anything that you
Like a
like love?
chicken roast dinner for me, like with like cauliflower
Okay,
cheese, like your roast potatoes, yeah, yeah, your chicken, your broccoli, a few carrots. I love a Sunday dinner, very traditional. That's my favorite.
so that would be your
Yeah.
fave.
So
Amazing.
let's get something
Yeah,
sorted, Field Doctor.
we have to. We'll have to get Matt on board.
Yes.
Um,
Come on, Matt.
and you said you took some of the meals away onto, or like you
Yeah.
managed to get some of the meals
Yeah,
as well. That's
absolutely. Yeah, especially when I was, and the ones that are closer to home.
yeah.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I did my training here in the West Midlands. So
Okay.
Carlos and Lloyd, some of the dancers come and stay with me. So coming home every night and being able to have one of those meals when you are so tired for
Yeah.
a long day of rehearsals was such a blessing.
Yeah. And you said earlier about, you know, how like it's difficult for everybody, like when you're busy, but I think when you're managing dietary restrictions or there's certain things that you can't eat, then it becomes like even more difficult to get just pick something up like convenient. And I think that's one of the things that we really feel that we help people with, is that you know that you can come home and you can have something that's like safe for you, or like isn't going to cause you, as you said, like pain or anything else.
Yeah.
And just pop it in the micro or pop it in the oven and it's ready in a few minutes. So
Exactly. Life is just at such a fast pace at
yeah,
the moment, isn't it?
yeah,
And at least then you know, even if you're popping into my grave because you haven't got much time or you've got a quick lunch break, but at least you know you are eating good food.
yeah,
Does that make sense? You're not picking up rubbish. You're fueling your body the right way, and then you're not going to end up in agony or sick or running back and forth to the toilet afterwards. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, for me, I'm so grateful to have come across Field Doctor, which was like, I think, like 2020, I first come across Field
okay.
Doctor. This year, I was in lockdown.
Is there anything you want to ask me about, like what we do with the meals, or yeah, how they get to your plate?
Yes, come on then. So, if you were to sum up Field Doctor in one sentence,
Okay.
what would it be?
Okay. We're unique because we make meals that are designed by a dietitian, but then developed by a Michelin trained chef or star chef. So our meals are not only nutritionally backed, but they also taste like they've been made by a chef, because they have.
Yeah, and trust me, they really, really are. I've never found meals like it. And over the years, especially with my competitive dancing, I would be trying to, all the health hacks and these protein meals that you get sent, everything like that. And they didn't make an impact on me, and they certainly did not taste
Mm.
like Field Doctor. That I promise you guys. I honestly do. Okay then. So you kind of just said it then. I was going to say, who creates the meals at Field Doctor? But what's the process
So
behind it?
yeah, so the process, like, it starts with me. So we start thinking about, like, if we want to create like a set of meals or recipes for like a particular health condition or like for a health goal. So I'll be thinking about what the science says about how nutrition can help, like if there's any particular like ingredients we want to like make sure we use, and then I'll be setting targets for things like how much protein or fiber like we would want to have in the meals in that range. And then once I've put together my brief, I will meet up with Matt, and we will talk over the brief and start having some ideas, and then he'll go away into his development kitchen and start working his magic. So turning this nutrition brief into recipes and starting that process. And then when he's happy, then we'll sort of come back together and it's taste testing, and then the recipes are nutritionally analysed to make sure that they meet up with the brief. And then once all that happens, then and everyone's happy, then they go into development before they're available to buy, and then they're all cooked in small batches, flash frozen, and then they end up with you.
Fantastic. Well, I obviously know all the benefits
Yeah.
from eating, but you tell everybody what are the benefits from eating field doctor meals.
So we talked before, didn't we, about how it can be really difficult to eat healthy, like even if you have the best intentions, because as you said, like life is moving like a, 1,000 miles an hour, it feels like, there isn't, lots of us don't have the time to eat as well as what we want. Maybe people don't have the skills in the kitchen, they don't have, can't get hold of the food easily, or maybe they're following like particular diets or have like restrictions in their diet, which means that it is more difficult as well. So we like to think that we help people eat a healthy diet. Like we make it easier to stick to like a healthy diet, even if you have like existing restrictions or you're avoiding certain foods. And I think when people have to follow like particular diets for a health condition, their diet often ends up becoming like quite limited, or it can
Oh,
be really difficult.
yes.
You get home and you think, well, I can't have this, and I can't, or you might stop at a shop and think there's so many things that I can't have. It can just sort of, it can feel really limiting. So we're all about sort of helping people to make sure that they have like a convenient option, and all of our like standard size meals have got like 2 servings of veggies, which I think is amazing
Yeah.
because like only a third of adults eat the recommended 5 a day, so lots of us aren't eating enough veggies. We only use extra virgin olive oil in all of our meals. We only use whole grains, so that's really good for fiber content. We use pulses in all of our meals, and lots of our meals are high in protein. And because we use lots of like whole food ingredients, most of our meals end up being like a good source of like at least 5 or 6 vitamins and minerals, or sometimes high in those as well. So yeah, it's kind of like what you would want to put together if you could at home quickly, but we've done it for you.
Mm. Amazing. And who would you say these meals cater for? Like which conditions? Obviously, for me, having an IBD
Yeah.
condition, but which other conditions would you say they really help?
Yeah, we've got lots of different collections. So we've got a gluten-free range, we've got our low FODMAP range, which
Can I just
is
quickly, sorry, but in there, I tried being gluten free for a while with to see if it helped me, and it was when I was about 19, and it was so hard to be able to. I was so restricted, and I think even then it was really hard in supermarkets, and the gluten free bread back then didn't taste great. Like, yeah, it was horrible.
yeah, and it's come like I think breads in particular, they've got a bit better, but they are. But my mum is gluten free, and actually, like it's when I go out to eat with her, or when we're like away for the weekend, or we're going out for lunch, and it's a constant reminder of like how much more work it is, and how like there's so much more thought process involved with, it's not just like going out and buying a sandwich. You have to think about where you can go, what you can buy. So yeah, so we've got our gluten-free range, and we've got a low FODMAP range, which is for low FODMAP diet and can help manage IBS symptoms.
Yeah.
And then we've got our like core Mediterranean range, which is just a brilliant option for anybody who wants to eat healthy meals. And then we've got our heart healthy collection, and we have got, I'm probably going to forget something, our lean and lighter range, which is to support like weight loss journey. And we've got a new smaller meals range, so therefore if people have like a smaller appetite, or for people maybe who are using like GLP-1 medications as well, they're brilliant. I think that's most of them, but we
Yeah,
also
but that's already so much. So thank you for thinking of us all.
and it's like vegetarian options, vegan options, pescatarian options, and obviously meat as well. But our sort of policy is like where we use meat, we use like good quality, and it's in smaller amounts. So even when we're using like meat in our meals, it's normally like there'll be meat, but some like pulses as well.
Brilliant. And I know you work with scientists. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, the scientists
Yeah,
involved?
the science side of it. Yeah. So like we've talked a little bit tonight about how there's a lot of information about nutrition and diet everywhere, but there's also like a lot of misinformation and like disinformation. And I think,
Especially this day and age, I feel with social media.
yeah,
Everybody is sharing things, and you see like so many people going down like injection routes, things like this, and it's so scary, and the influence that social media has now. But yeah, I think it's so
yeah,
important to actually have science behind everything, and a nutritionist behind it. Your health, I know more than anyone, your health is so important, and what you feel in your body, and you are solely responsible for it.
Yeah, it's like it's got so much worse as well. Like it was, there was a lot of misinformation around like 10 years ago when I got my first dietitian. But now I feel overwhelmed, even as somebody who like has the knowledge to be able to filter through it, thinking, wow, there's so much that I'm seeing. And I just can't imagine how other people feel, like not knowing whether things you're more vulnerable because you're looking for answers and you want to learn things, and so it's really difficult to know what the right information is, particularly when you're managing a health condition. And I see like the bad end of that, which is that people end up on really restricted diets because they've read they should avoid this food and then this food, and then they become increasingly like scared and anxious about eating. So I see people in clinic who's got really, really limited diets from having sort of listened to all sorts of sort of misinformation, I guess, some of it, and not their fault. They're just trying to learn about things. So it's really important to us that we just work with the science. So like really good, we work with, what's the best evidence we have about how nutrition is important for this health condition or how it can help this health condition. Um, and that people feel really confident about us when they come and buy meals with us, and that they feel really confident that we're using that information to build our briefs and then our meals. So that's where the science comes in. And if we're developing like a particular range, so we worked with a menopause doctor recently when we were looking at doing a collection to support health during menopause. We have recently, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but I'm going to say a little bit. We
Go on,
recently worked
tell us. Spoiler.
a pilot study for supporting women through recovery from breast cancer, and just sort of helping them in terms of empowering them around how to eat for secondary prevention. And so we will be launching something around that
I
soon.
can't wait for that because obviously
We're,
that for me is so important.
and we're looking forward to like sharing that with everyone, and some about that already. So on that we worked with cancer specialist dietitians and oncologists to sort of help develop that meal plan. So yeah, we always start with the evidence base, and where we need to go and work with additional like specialists or doctors or people working one-to-one with people in this area, we do. So yes, although I'm the dietitian and field doctor, there's a lot of people that support what goes into us as well.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much. That obviously helpful for me. And obviously I already know a lot of the
I
benefits.
know I don't have to sell
But
it, so I'm not selling it anyway, but
no.
it is.
Like I already know it, and I know my followers know I've shared a lot of it. But is there a way we can save this live as well so
Yeah.
people can go back? Because I think so much information has, you've just given out, and I think it's so helpful to so many. And maybe for those who haven't been able to watch the live, and then I'm able to share the
Yeah.
video. Is that all right?
I will save it on our I'll save it on our page, and I'll tag you. I think that's how.
Yes, add me in if that's okay.
I'm going to say if anybody like is interested and just would like to see what we'd recommend. So we've got over, I think it's over 60 meals. So when you go on our website, you might think I'm not sure which one to choose, but we've got a personalization quiz. So it's just a button that says let's get started, and it's only a few short questions, but it asks you about if you're managing any health conditions, what your health goals are, and just how you would, what preferences do you have in terms of, are you avoiding anything, like any allergens? Do you have any intolerances? Do you prefer meat and fish, or do you prefer veg or vegan? And then basically on the back of that, what we do is we match you up to what we think is the best meals for you. So and there's like kind of no obligation to buy, but you could just go through that quiz and see what we recommend. And I think you've got a code as well for your followers, so
Yes.
we can get you that as well.
Absolutely. Maybe we can add that code to the captions, or in, I will add in the
Yeah.
comments to this video. And I'm going to do a story in a second anyway when I've done my Peri Piri chicken, and I will share it and add the code if anybody's interested as well.
Yeah, so everyone, yeah, people need to go and try your peri peri chicken recommendation.
Yes, they do. Let me know what their thoughts. And you're watching it next month, and I'll have a new favourite. I'm
Yeah.
so, yeah.
I feel mine changes as well, so you're not on your own. And I'll speak to Matt about the roast chicken
Yes.
for sure.
Can we do like an Amy, like, yeah,
And
an
Amy
Amy-ish?
special.
Yeah. And
Um,
hopefully people will like it as much
yeah,
as I do.
Yeah, and then yeah, it should be like there should be some dance moves whilst it's in the microwave cooking.
I love that.
I
Is there any questions? I can't really see from this far away. Let me come around and see if there's any questions in the comments.
don't think
Let's
so. I
grab it.
see a lot of people have like waved and done some.
Let's have a look. I'm getting my phone up on my tripod. See, I was trying to be super, organized and professional.
It was.
Let's have a look what people are saying. Oh, will this live be saved? Yes, it will be, Charlotte. Some people saying hello. Yeah, we will save the live, and hopefully this will just, yeah, give a lot of information to others. And what's so important to me is getting the right information
Yeah.
out on social media, from the right people to be guided in the right direction. And like what I said earlier, what you put into your body is your responsibility, and it is so important.
Yeah. I love that message, and we need as much help as possible, I guess. And so there are, there's not that many dietitians, but there's a lot of bad information out there. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's great to have you as an ambassador, and we love seeing you on tour, and we love watching you do everything you're doing. And we also love knowing that in a tiny, tiny, tiny way, we're sort of supporting you,
Yeah,
helping
massively.
you
Thank you.
well when you're really busy. So
Oh, yes, honestly, and I'm coming into a really busy period, and I just know this is going to help me when I haven't got time.
yeah,
Charlotte asked as well, when did Amy become an ambassador for the brand? Well, I've been eating the meals for quite some time, and then after the summer where I really used them when I was back full on dancing and in a busy schedule, is when, because I know Phil Doctor reached out to me for a while, and that's when I actually got back to you guys and was like, yes. Thank you so much. I would be really proud to, because my followers will know that I won't come an ambassador of something unless I truly believe in something, and Field Doctor is something I truly believe in.
yeah. And we're so glad that we would always want the same, and it's like just real testament for you to have eaten the meals and come back to us and said, yeah, that's good.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for chatting.
No, thank you for taking the time.
Yeah.
Busy
And
day.
yes, save the video so then I can
Yeah,
share it with everybody. And
yeah,
guys, I'm going to share then my meal in a bit, and I'll
and
share the discount code
yeah,
as well.
awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank
Enjoy
you
your
so
dinner.
much.
Have a restful evening,
And
and we will speak.
you too. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.